Hello and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this cell Saga Diorama. So here's the final look, of course. This is how it will look after it's done. It's basically just like a double door Detolf diorama. This is in the Mifune display case that I got off the TikTok shop. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So starting off, you're going to pretty much need the same tools as last time. We're going to be using XPS foam, cutting tools. Right here I'm using the Proxxon wire cutter just to straighten up everything before I go ahead and begin the project. So as you saw in the beginning of the video, this will be a double door Detolf. So it's going to be 29 by 12 and then it's going to have a max height of 15 with the figures included so they can fit on top of the diorama. Here what I'm doing is just basically measuring out the back part of the diorama where the figures will be like on the risers, aka like the mountains. And then on this part there's going to be another set of risers that's going to be on the sides of the arena. I'm going to have 3 levels, as you can see. I went ahead and used the hot wire cutter to cut that out. Here we are beginning to carve everything. What I like to do to start with this is basically just cut up all the straight corners and then go ahead with the small X-Acto knife and then just begin carving all the details. Right here I'm going to be putting in slow motion and then I'm going to be speeding up the process so you guys can see. This is a pretty messy bit, but I forgot to record before, so this is just like an extra. Alright, so as you saw, I was just cutting off all the corners, and then we're going to be going in with the smaller X-Acto blade and start carving the details. So basically, like always, we're going to be going like in a V shape into the rock and just carve little by little to get that rock formation. This will be a bit longer, but I will let it play out so you guys can see like the process of the carving. So here I'm just going little by little and carving little parts and just detailing out the formation that I want the rock to be. Of course, it's not going to be perfect since no rock is perfect, but you just gotta like understand how you like it and then go from there. Alright, now that most of it is cut out, I really like to go ahead and just change the sizes of the rocks so some can be shorter and some can be taller. Especially like on the corners. That's just how I prefer it personally. Alright, so now we're going to be moving on to the bigger pieces. It's basically just like the same thing, just got to repeat the process and then go from there. Right here I was going to be showing you guys the first couple boulders, and then I'm going to be skipping it, time-lapsing it, and show you guys just the process of how the diorama works. Alright, so as you can see, the left part of the boulder is more just like simplistic, and then I'm going to be showing you guys how I went from that to the more detailed version. So right here, as you can see, I'm carving off all the edges so you can get rid of like that flatness from where the foam was cut. Okay, so here's how it looks. So as you can see, it's not like that flat from the cut, it's more like rounded, more textured just by the blade itself. Alright, off camera I did go ahead and add magnets to all the diorama pieces, the 3 on top, and then I also added magnets to the 2 boulders. I added 2 in the middle and then the 3 on top to hold up the boulders. And then I'm just basically doing the same thing on the other one. And what you want to do is just experiment. Like, of course you don't have to copy step by step of what I'm doing. You can just do your own thing. But this is what I find works best for me. So here's another example of what I was talking about. I'm just basically doing like the flat part right there, and then I'm going again and just rounding off the parts where I cut. And then I'm here just basically cutting the same thing at the end of the day. But I feel like this part is more easier since it's thinner. This is 1-inch foam compared to the 2-inch foam. Yeah, basically do the same thing, carve a V shape and then round off the edges. Now I'm basically texturing the whole thing. What I do is just grab a small rock and apply pressure to it. You could either use that or a tinfoil ball. I did start off using a tinfoil ball, but I find it better to use the rock. It's harder and it gives it more definition. And here's what it looks like with the texture. I'm just going again and trying to finish up these 3-piece risers that will be going on the sides of the arena. Now we just gotta copy and paste what I did to the right one, I'm going to be doing to the left one. So here they are. As you can see, I did go ahead and add that definition that I was talking about in the beginning, where some rocks are taller than the others. And now we will be moving on to the back pieces. This one's a bit more difficult just because of the positioning of the magnetized ones. But as you can see here, I'm just outlining like the continuation of the rock on top to match it well with the rocks on the bottom. And just when you're doing this, take your time. You don't want to go too fast because you could either cut yourself or you can just ended up looking kind of weird. And you can kind of see a little bit more better here, but as you can see the flatness of the rock, once you're in there you want to like round it out, and make sure when you do that, if you want it to look as best as possible, to push that rock a little bit back by carving more than the rock next to it or the rock above it. Here's an example of what I'm referring to. As you can see, that rock, I'm actually carving more into it so it can be like shadowed behind the rock above it. And right here I'm basically just aligning it to make sure that once I cut the rock piece, that it's not looking kind of weird, just because this is a larger diorama, and when I ship it, I do have to split it in 2 parts, or else shipping would be crazy expensive. And now here I'm just going ahead and just carving off those weird looking areas just to make it a little bit more realistic. And here it is, all carved up. I will be adding texture to it, and then we're just going to copy and do the same thing on the other boulder. Alright, so now that I have textured everything, I did go ahead and texture the back, the boulders, and everything. I also went ahead and lowered some rocks, as you can see in the base, and also on the boulders in the back, I went ahead and lowered those rocks. Alright, now that I have the base carved out also, this is how it looks. Now adding the arena, this is going to be the final look. Now we will go ahead and add the SHF adapters. These are some adapters I 3D printed for the Tamashii Nation stands. If you are interested in buying some, you can check over on my website, thetruelegend.shop. Alright, I wanted to take a quick little break and talk about the sponsor. So this is a haul I recently got from JP Fans. I got the SH Figure Arts Dragonball Z nail. I got the amazing Yamaguchi Batman. I got the cell shaded, the shaded Scarlet Spider. I also got the chrome version of the Mandalorian, along with the reissue of the Miles Morales. This video is sponsored by JP Fans. So I want to teach you guys a little bit about the site. It's a Japanese proxy website where you can import figures from Japan to the US to get you guys like whatever you guys want overseas. So they do have a couple options here. They have Mercari, as you can see. They have these 2 other ones, and they also have Amazon. So basically all you have to do is search up a keyword such as Mayfex, and then it's basically just like shopping either on Mercari or on Amazon. Everything is translated if you use the auto translate and search, and then you can search for a figure or for anything else such as merch or anime stuff. Click on the figure, and then once you do click on the figure, all the information appears such as description, all the photos, basically just if you were searching it up on Mercari. And then once you have all that, let's say you got your order in, they do send you quality inspection photos of like the figure itself. Well, as you can see here, they took photos of each side of the box, as if you can load, and then they do ship them in this plastic wrap. And I do have a video right here where it's my unboxing. But yeah, they send you pictures of all the figures you chose, and after that they store it inside the warehouse for up to 60 days. And I know it's a lot of information, but I'm trying to put it as easy as I can for you guys, because most of these are like really good deals. So yeah, there's a lot of good deals, especially for imported figures such as Dragon Ball figures, which I usually collect. Right now I've only done one order, which are these figures right here. I did go ahead and post this guy already. I will be doing these next. And that is basically it for the sponsor. I want to thank JP Fans. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. This is my code. If you guys are interested in buying anything, make sure you do use that, and you get up to $80 off in coupons. But yeah, I want to thank them, and let's get right back into the tutorial. Alright, so I did go ahead and add a base coat. The base coat that I added was a beige colorway. But now we're going to go ahead and start airbrushing with the color medium flesh tone. Alright, so for this airbrushing part, we've pretty much done it before. You just got to get in between the crevices of the rock. I will be time-lapsing this part just because it's a little bit more self-explanatory. Yeah. By the way, this is sped up, so just make sure you're taking your time when you're doing it in person. And I know you see that pink back there, but we will be painting it black by the end of the video. And in the smaller parts, you want to take even more time doing that, just because they are smaller rocks and you could cover up the whole thing, but it really doesn't matter just because we're just adding the shading between the rocks. And right here I'm just spraying the base down. Some of it will be mostly grass, but I do like just to paint it just because I just like doing it. Now we'll be going in with this light rust. This one you do want to spray from a bit afar, just to give it like a little bit of highlight of orange, but you don't want to give it too much, just to give it that little DBZ look. And of course you are going to want to do each of these colorways to everything in the diorama. And as you can see down there, I did go ahead and carve a few rocks down there. I forgot to record that, but they will be added into the diorama. And when I do the pieces that are magnetized, I do go ahead and connect them just so I can have it evenly spread out the paint. And then right here I did forget to record the color, but it is a leather brown. I went ahead and added a little bit of shading into like the darkest part of the rock, which is like the part that's like behind everything. And then as you can see here, I slowed it down a bit so you guys could see how that shading works. And now I will be adding the paint for the grass. I went ahead and started off with this lush green, just painting the top of each boulder. The client did want some grass on everything, so I went ahead and added that. And here I'm just measuring where like the grass is going to go and just painting little spots of it. I do put grass underneath the boulders just in case the client wants to move them out and just have it like flat or something like that. Alright, so now that I have everything painted and prepped and ready for the static grass, I will be going ahead with Elmer's clear glue, like always, and just begin adding the flock. And for those wondering, I did get the static grass applicator off Amazon. So you want to go in with the brush and make sure you add enough glue for the grass to stick on good. And then you just want to tap the applicator and make sure it's connected, because I forgot a connector right there, but just make sure the connection is there just so the grass can actually stand up. And then just shake off the excessiveness and clean it up a bit. As you can see, there's a little piece of debris there. But yeah, then I go ahead with the Mod Podge sealer. I sprayed it with that and also with isopropyl alcohol. And then you just repeat the same thing to all the other pieces, and you go from there. And here we have the final look. So after all those steps are being completed, I did go ahead and add some little bushes, some little plants that I got off Amazon. I'll make sure to put everything down that I used in the description below. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this diorama. This diorama took around like 2 weeks, I'd say. It was filmed like around a couple months ago, but I decided just to upload it this week just because of time. I do want to show you guys that the pillars are magnetized. These cell arenas are available on my website if you guys are interested. And also, if you guys are interested in commissioning one, all you gotta do is message me or visit my website and I might have some available there. But if you guys want to secure one, it's better just to message me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this diorama, and here it is with a couple figures on it. This is basically my completed cell saga, besides I think a future trunks that I don't got in here. But yeah, I really like how it turned out. I have mainly all the Z fighters Still waiting for a better SHF cell, but I don't know, we'll get that. But yeah, I won't name every figure, but yeah, we have a couple figures here, Yardrat, King Cold. We have basically everyone that they have released, I think, but it sounds like a couple older versions. But yeah, this diorama was a commission for a client. They did order this one and the Tournament Power one. I'll show you guys. I actually have another video of that coming soon. It's just the painting process. I forgot to record the carving process, so I apologize for that. But yeah, just to show you guys the shelves in here in this display. This is JJK, a little bit of Chainsaw, Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter. And over here we have just statues and an exclusive one. Yeah, that's the Tournament Power one that I was talking about. I really like how this one turned out. Really sad I had to let these go. I really like them. I really like how they looked like next to each other, but off they go. And I'm thankful for everyone who has supported this journey, this diorama tutorial. I'm thankful for everyone. I do have a giveaway coming soon and a collection video also coming soon. Of when I'll have that, I still don't have a date, but it's gonna be sooner than later. Hopefully I'll have it before June. But yeah, that is basically it for this tutorial, this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, like always, you guys can either comment or DM me. If you guys have sent me a DM already, just send another one. I do not sometimes get them, and then I'll sometimes forget to answer, but I promise I'm not ignoring you guys. But yeah, thank you guys once again for watching. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you liked it, and let me know what you guys think of this tutorial. And if you guys decide to make any, feel free to send me a message. If you guys are interested in any, feel free to send me a message. But yeah, I want to thank all of you guys once again for the support. It's been insane. Thank you guys, and thanks for watching. Peace.